Alright. Welcome to the Spin Cycle, serving up news from the CCAA Men's Volleyball Championship in Charlottetown, PEI. My name is Geordie Carragher, and in this two-part special, we're going to meet the participating teams, learn a little bit about each school and how they got to the tournament, and we're also going to hear from some of the players as we approach the start of the tournament on March 12th. If you're attending the tournament in person, the Spin Cycle will also be your daily source for game recaps and post-game interviews. You can follow along with live updates on Twitter at HC_Hurricanes or at CCAA Sports ACSC using the hashtag CCAAMVB2015. Also, you can follow along with our Instagram account at CCAAMVB2015. Now, if anyone out there watched the respective conference championships a week ago, you'll know that there was some exceptional volleyball played across Canada. And now, the best of the best have descended upon Charlottetown to determine a national champion at the Centre for Community Engagement on March 14th. With that in mind, let's run down the tournament seedings and tee up the opening matches. The tournament's top seed is the Pac West champion Camosun Chargers out of Victoria, British Columbia, and they're going to play the 8th seed, the tournament host and ACAA silver medalist Holland College Hurricanes. The number 2 seed belongs to the University of Alberta at Augustana Vikings from Camrose, Alberta, and they come in as the ACAC champions. They'll take on the 7th seeded Titan de Limoilou, the RSTQ champions out of Quebec City. Our 3rd seed is the Niagara Knights out of Welland, Ontario, and the 2013 National Championship hosts will battle the 6th seeded St. Thomas Tommies, who earned their 2nd straight ACAA championship this year. Finally, we have the defending CCAA champion Red Deer Kings as the 4th seed and ACAC wildcard. They'll be up against the St. Clair Saints out of Windsor, Ontario, who are making their national championship debut in men's volleyball. Part 1 of the podcast will feature Camosun, Augustana, Niagara, and Red Deer, while St. Clair, St. Thomas, Limoilou, and Holland will make up the second half. Without further ado, let's get right into it. That's the iconic Canadian band Rush with Headlong Flight, and the team taking the longest flight to Charlottetown for the CCAA Men's Volleyball Championship is the Camosun Chargers. Out of Victoria, British Columbia, the Chargers come in as the tournament's top seed and the Pac West champions. Now here's an interesting fact. The Chargers are also one of 3 teams to host a provincial championship this season and earn a spot in Charlottetown for this tournament, the other 2 being Augustana and St. Clair. Head coach Charles Parkinson's crew finished 2nd in a very competitive Pac West conference with an 18-6 regular season record, and they found themselves in the CCAA's weekly rankings for the majority of the season. The Chargers earned a first-round bye for the Pac West Championship. Then they defeated the VIU Mariners 3-1 in the semifinal. Camosun then battled the Douglas Royals, the CCAA's top-ranked side and next season's national championship hosts in the tournament final. Buoyed by the home crowd, the Chargers, who had actually lost 3 of 4 regular season matches to Douglas, took down the Royals in 4 sets to punch their ticket to Charlottetown for their first national championship appearance since 2010. Camosun placed Alex Sadowski on the Pac West's first All-Star team for the 3rd straight season, while Cameron Fenema, the tournament's most valuable player, and Vitor Macedo were named second-team All-Stars, and Douglas Waterman was named the conference's All-Rookie team. I had a chance to speak with Sadowski a few days after the tournament. I'm now joined by one of the more decorated players in this tournament. As a Camosun Charger, he's been the Pac West Rookie of the Year, a first-team All-Star the last 3 seasons, and a 3-time CCAA National Scholar. He finally added Pac West champion to his resume this season, and he's done it all without leaving his hometown as he's a Victoria native. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Sadowski. How are you doing today, Alex?
Pretty good. I'm having a pretty good day. I had a few classes, and I'm just at home doing a little homework.
All right, there you go. Got to keep the studies in order, right?
That's priority number one.
All right, there you go. So first off, take me back to the PCA complex for that final against Douglas. What was that atmosphere like?
It was absolutely intense. It was crazy. We've never played. We reformatted our gym. We played kind of perpendicular to the way we usually play, and we actually filled the full facility. And we had amazing fans. It was an amazing game, and it was just the perfect way to end our season at home.
And you mentioned fan support. It felt like anyone that wasn't directly affiliated with Douglas was supporting you guys in that final. How much did it mean to have that additional support?
It's awesome. I mean, it's easy. It's always easy to play a sport that you love, but it makes it that much easier to rise to the occasion and play excellently with your team when you know you have those fans behind you.
I guess in looking back at that championship, how much added significance was there for you in terms of, winning it in your hometown?
It was pretty cool. Like you said before, that fan support, like we wouldn't have had that playing in any other gym. Especially since the last time that Camosun hosted the Rentals, was cool to keep that. And I think they've added to the whole event. And the other end, kind of excitement after we won.
All right. Now you've had a few days to relax a little bit. Just wondering, has it finally sunk in that after 4 years as a Charger, you're finally going to a national championship?
Yeah, I think after the dust settled, it sunk in for all of us, especially for myself, this being my last year, and for another fifth-year guy, it's his last year, so finally getting to make the trip and continue our postseason is pretty exciting. It's something that I've been wanting to do for the last 4 years, and it's something that not every athlete gets to do. So we really, it's not hard to realize how special that is.
And you mentioned the fact that it's definitely not something every athlete gets to do. In fact, a Pac West team hasn't made consecutive national appearances since 2011. So it goes without saying, coming out of the conference is tough. So how much do you think that it has helped your team's preparation going into this year's nationals?
I think just knowing and working as a team and setting a goal that we can work towards has really helped us work better as a team, especially for the guys that don't get on the court a lot. I mean, we all know that every practice we go, we're making it better. And every practice we work towards the goal that we know we've set. And it's like I said, it's really special that we get to go and kind of pursue that goal.
Yeah, and this is Camosun's first trip to the men's nationals since 2010, but the women are also going to nationals as well in Longueuil, Quebec. So with both teams off to nationals, what has the buzz been like back on campus?
It's really special. The women here was their actual first provincial conference medal. And it's special to go to nationals. And I think it really builds and really adds to the school spirit that we have, and that we can kind of represent our school and hopefully bring home the student body that kind of backs us up and gives us that fan support.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really important to have that backing from the school and, as you mentioned, the student body as a whole. So going back to something I said off the top, you're also a 3-time CCAA national scholar in addition to everything you've done on the court. How important has it been for you to find that balance between being a student and an athlete?
It's never been easy, but it's always come fairly easily to me to balance the school athletics.
Yep.
But it's always been number one priority for me. It's not that I didn't want to play volleyball, but I chose to go to Camosun for the academic program, and then played volleyball because I could, and because the coach wanted me to play. So that really kind of worked out in my favor, that's for sure.
Such a great perspective on that. I couldn't agree more. Now, going into this tournament, your team, Camosun, is actually one of 3 that hosted a conference championship that's going to be in Charlottetown for the Nationals, the other being Augustana and St. Clair. Now, knowing that feeling you had hosting the Pac West Championships, how do you prepare for opening the Nationals against the host Holland Hurricanes?
I think we're going to go into the exact same situation that we played with at home. I mean, they're going to have so many fans. It's going to be loud. I remember watching the national tournament last year and seeing host Briarcrest in the finals, and the gym was on fire. It was so loud. It was crazy, but I think we can prepare for that just the same way that we would prepare for any road game. We know that they're going to have way more fans than us. Obviously, it's not everyone's making the trip out, but we can prepare to play the game that we know we can play and go from there.
Right on. Now, you guys are obviously seeded number 1 for this tournament. Do you feel like there's any added pressure on your group of guys to perform?
I don't think there's any necessary pressure. I think the number 1 seed is really nice. It's a really nice hard team as well, and kind of to get that recognition that we've done all the work all year, and now we're in this position to do really great. I think, like I said before, we just need to play our game and prepare for the way that we know we need to play to win, and do what we know we can.
All right, fair enough. And what are you most looking forward to about making this trip to Nationals?
I think, like you touched, and what I said, like, not every athlete gets to go to Nationals. Not every athlete gets to step into the postseason. I think just that extra excitement, the trip, traveling with the team, taking a plane ride, everything like that, playing on a higher stage and teams that we've never played against, will be really exciting. And seeing kind of what we can do against teams that we know have been on the top of the leaderboard for national rankings and all that stuff all year. So that was really fun.
All right, and last question before I let you go here, Alex. What's the biggest thing that needs to happen in your mind for the Chargers to bring a championship banner back to Victoria?
I think we just need to play. Like we've had a really solid season, and we can see from the result we know we can win, and we know we can compete at a very high level. All we need to do is kind of stay calm, make sure our physical preparation, our tactical preparation is all in order, but also our mental preparation. Going through everything that we need to do on the day so that we play at our peak, and just have fun, kind of recognize the situation that we're in, the opportunities we have to do something great, and just...
All right. Well, on that note, I'll say thank you very much for your time, and we'll see you in Charlottetown.
Thank you very much. We're excited to come.
As you heard in that interview, we did have some technical difficulties with Alex, but I can assure you that he was a great guest, and all the best to him and the Chargers in this week's tournament. The Chargers will take on the tournament hosts Holland Hurricanes at 8 p.m., all times Atlantic, on Thursday. And feel free to give @Camosun Chargers a follow on Twitter, as their women's volleyball team also made the CCAA championships this year, hosted in Longueuil, Quebec. The Hurricanes will host that tournament next year, so who knows, maybe we'll see the Chargers again. We'll be back in a minute. I believe that we will win, a chant now associated with the University of Alberta at Augustana Vikings. The Camrose Alberta-based Vikings are the number 2 seed for this week's championship, and they certainly earned their spot. Augustana, coached by Stephen Leggett, led the ACAC's North Conference with a 20-4 regular season record, and they had home court advantage for the ACAC Men's Volleyball Championships. The Vikings opened their tournament with a straight-set victory over State, then clinched their place in Charlottetown with an exciting 4-set triumph over the Medicine Hat Rattlers, where 2 of the 4 sets needed extra points. Augustana then battled Red Deer in the ACAC Championship, where the Camrose crowd helped the Vikings rally from 2 sets down to force a 5th set, won 15-13 by Augustana for the school's first ACAC Men's Volleyball Championship and national tournament appearance. The Vikings had 4 players on the ACAC North All-Conference team, including Devin Varga, Cole McCartney, Thomas Regier, and Luke Ryan, who was also named the tournament's most valuable player. I spoke with Ryan about how the Vikings' preparations are going. Joining me on the line from the ACAC champion University of Alberta Augustana campus Vikings, he's a 2-time All-Conference player, including being one of 4 Vikings named to this year's ACAC North All-Conference team, and he was the most valuable player of the ACAC championships. He's also a hometown boy as a native of Camrose, Alberta. It's 4th-year left side Luke Ryan. How are you doing today, Luke?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. All right, so let's look back at the ACAC final. It's on home court, 5th set, national champion Red Deer on the other side of the net, and home fans screaming all around. What is going through the mind of Luke Ryan at that time?
Holy cow. There was a lot and then a little, because I don't really remember much of it, but generally it was just like, wow. How did we get here? And just take it as it comes, I guess. We didn't get too ahead of ourselves, and we just kind of played it point by point. And yeah, I don't know. It was an unbelievable feeling. I can't even describe how it felt.
Yeah, it's hard to describe it when you're not there, so that's why I figured I'd check. So, looking back at that match, you fought back from 2 sets down, but Red Deer nearly got you guys in the 4th. Was there any kind of uncertainty in that time, or was there just added momentum going into the 5th, knowing you held them off?
Yeah, for sure there was a little bit. We were up 10 points at one point, I think, in that set, and they clawed back to within 1. So definitely, yeah, there was some doubts creeping in, but we finally got a side out, stayed the course, and rode it to the end.
And once that final point went down and you guys were named the champions, how special was that feeling to, win your provincial championship on home court?
It was absolutely unbelievable. I've been dreaming of a moment like that all year since we won the host, and for it actually to happen is just an ultimate dream come true. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and I heard a little bit on commentary saying maybe there was a little bit of a feeling that the North wasn't getting as much respect as the South. So how did that feel to, get one for the Northern Conference?
Oh, it felt pretty good. Yeah, there was a bit of that going into the season, being the South stronger and all. I think that gave us North teams a little bit of motivation, a little bit of something to prove, and with 2 of the 3 medals going to North teams, I think we did prove that a little bit.
All right, and now you've had a few days to kind of relax and unwind after that win. So what has the vibe been like around campus there in Camrose?
A little bit of disbelief. I still don't believe that we won. I still can't believe it. It's just such a surreal feeling. But now that we're back to practicing, we got game plan on nationals, and that's our main focus right now. I think after nationals and whatever happens there, we'll be able to really digest what happened this weekend.
Yeah, because I was talking to Alex Sadowski of Camosun earlier, and he brought up the point that not many athletes get to experience this. So what is the biggest thing you'll try and take away from this national championship?
Well, yeah, like you said, not many people get to go, and I'm kind of taking this as a once in a lifetime opportunity. Like, who knows who knows if we'll make it back next year. And then the three seniors in our team, this is their last shot. So I think we're all going to go in with the mindset of we got nothing to lose. This is our one shot, and just have a ton of fun and go out there and give it our best.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, obviously a few things happened before you went to Augustana, as you played your first 2 seasons at NAIT before transferring in 2013. What was the biggest motivator in your decision to make that transfer to the Vikings?
There's a couple really big motivators. One, money. Living in the city was pretty expensive. I didn't really have the job to support myself, and my parents have to support, 3 other kids going to post-secondary. It's kind of tough to help out. So that was a big one. But mainly, it's my hometown. My dad was the coach at that point.
Yep.
And it made sense. My program at NAIT was done. I would have had to start a new program, and it just felt right.
So just kind of a timing thing from your perspective, perhaps?
Oh, yeah.
All right. And once you got on the court with the Vikings, did you ever foresee your squad having this kind of success?
I mean, you always hope and believe. And now that it's actually happened, I can't describe it. Like, the group of guys, it's just an unbelievable group of guys. I wouldn't trade this team for any other team in the world. And the fact that we did go through to this and get one championship under our belt anyways, it's a pretty awesome feeling.
All right. And you mentioned earlier that you've got a lot of veterans on your team, including yourself, Cole McCartney, Andrew Khalil, Devin Varga, and Jordan Gardner, amongst so many others. But out of that group, only Gardner has nationals experience. So with you guys going into this kind of an environment, how do you calm your nerves to try and set the tone for the rest of the team?
I think we just have to think back to the way we handled our final here. I don't know if we're gonna come up with because we were in a building packed with almost 700 of our fans going nuts. I've never felt that kind of nerves before, and the way we handled it then makes us a pretty confident group going into any situation now. So I think we look back at how we handled that situation, play our game, which is steady, and have a lot of fun and enjoy the moment.
And there you go. Hard to beat that. Now, looking ahead to the tournament, your opening game is against Limoilou out of Quebec City. So, first question, have you had a chance to study them yet? And if so, what kinds of things will you be looking out for from them?
I haven't, but I know my coach probably is on it at this very moment, and will probably give us a game plan within the next week or so. But I honestly don't know too much about them. Right now I'm just focused on our side of the court, to be honest.
All right, fair enough. That's the best way to be.
Yeah.
And between now and the tournament, what do you feel like the biggest area is that your team needs to work on?
We're a pretty confident group in our game right now. I think we just need to maybe tighten up a few things, just like little parts of the game. We don't really have any. I don't feel we have any big gaping holes. I think we just need to I don't know, sharpen our game as much as we can and get as ready as we can. I don't know really what to say about that one.
All right, so last question here before I let you go. What do you think is the one thing that needs to happen in order for the Augustana Vikings to become national champions?
We need to be as steady as we were this last weekend. That's kind of been the one term uttered this semester that's really helped us through is just be steady, not get too high on points, not get too down on points. Just be a very calm, steady level of play. Because when the other team is having a good run and they see the other side not getting phased and just playing steady, I think it's pretty frustrating for the other side to watch, and it gets us makes us pretty confident as a group. So playing steady would have to be it.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for your time here, Luke, and we look forward to seeing you along with the rest of the Vikings in Charlottetown next week.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We're really, really excited to come out and see what you guys have to offer.
All right, perfect. We're looking forward to seeing you guys. Safe trip.
Thanks for having us.
All right, no problem. Augustana opens the tournament against the Titan de Limoilou at 1 p.m., again, all times Atlantic, on Thursday. But you can check in on the Vikings on Twitter at @U_AUG Vikings. Well, that's 2 down and 2 to go in part 1 of our tournament preview. We'll be back in a minute. If you don't recognize that musical choice, that's from The Dark Knight Rises, and it's a fitting choice given how the Niagara Knights have risen to the occasion time and time again over the last 2 months. The boys from Welland, Ontario started somewhat slowly with a 5-4 record before Christmas. However, once the calendar turned to 2015, Coach Nathan Gronveld got his team turned in the right direction as they went 7-2 the rest of the way to finish the regular season 12-6, good for third in the OCAA West. This took out the Trent Excalibur in an OCAA qualifier to make it to Windsor for the OCAA Championship, where they drew the reigning champion Mohawk Mountaineers in the opening round. On paper, the match appeared to favor Mohawk, but the Knights dug deep and fought for a thrilling 5-set win to turn the tournament upside down. Niagara then finished off the Fanshawe Falcons in 4 sets in their semifinal to earn their spot in Charlottetown. It's the first time they've reached the national championship with a bye since 2005, though they also hosted in 2013. Niagara then took out the tournament host St. Clair Saints in 4 sets in the final to bring the OCAA banner back to Welland. Aaron Vanderloo made the OCAA West first All-Star team, while setter Steve Stone earned OCAA West second team All-Star honors, as well as being named the most valuable player in Windsor. I had a great chat with Stone to see how things were going with the Knights as they prepared to come to Charlottetown. Joining me at this time from the OCAA champion Niagara Knights, he's an OCAA West second team All-Star, and he was also named the most valuable player at the OCAA Men's Volleyball Championships. From St. Catharines, Ontario, it's 4th-year setter Steve Stone. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Just relaxing. It's reading week right now, so taking it pretty easy.
That couldn't have come at a better time for you guys, eh?
Yeah, no, it's really good timing. Tough tournament we just had on the weekend, and straight into reading week where we can now relax and recover and get ready for nationals.
All right, so you touched on nationals there a second ago, but let's go back to the start of the season. You started your career at Niagara, then went to Redeemer for a couple years, then took a couple years off. So what made you want to come back to the Knights for this season?
Well, I played for Niagara just for about half a year, and I just really wasn't enjoying the school aspect of it. It wasn't quite the program I enjoyed, so I worked for a bit, went to Redeemer. I was studying physical education there. I played there a little bit, and then I decided to just take some time off, did some traveling, and when I came back from all my travels, I actually got the assistant coaching job at Brock University for the women's program, and really enjoyed coaching there, and but coaching just wasn't quite cutting it, and I still had the itch to get back and play, and being a local to the Niagara region, Niagara College is pretty close, and I needed to finish my education, so I figured why not, and I asked Coach Grunwald, I told him, well, I'm coming for school anyways, so what are the chances of me playing, and he said, oh, definitely, we would love to have you at the program, so it just worked out really well, and I'm definitely glad I got back into it.
And you've done it all this year with a close friend of yours in Aaron Vanderloo, who was a first-team OCAA All-Star this year. So what has it been like experiencing all of this with him?
It's been great. Having Aaron by my side this whole year has been really nice. It's helped me to fit in with the team, just kind of having someone I already knew. I've been in contact with Aaron all over the summer because he's being stubborn, saying he was retired and he doesn't want to play anymore and he's old and all this other stuff. And I just told him, I said, guess what? Like, if you come and join us, I guarantee you a gold medal at provincials and we'll go to nationals and medal. And he decided that sounded good enough, so he finally came back out, and it's been really great. He's one of the best blockers in Canada in the college circuit, and having his veteran presence on the team to lead the guys and also to push me more has been great. And he's a great friend, and we've gone through a lot already. My first year at Redeemer, me and Aaron, we won a silver medal in the finals, and having him this year has been really great, really great. I'm really glad to have him on the court. I know I don't set him quite as much as he would like. He would like to get a few more kills, but it's been great having him on the team. He's a really, really good guy and a really phenomenal athlete.
Well, you've got one part of the guarantee down. You've got the provincial gold. We'll see about the national medal next week. But again, going back to this season, you made an adjustment from being a side player to becoming a setter, and that transition has worked pretty well. Second in the conference in assists, tied for most in assists per set. So how did that come so naturally to you?
I think as a player, I've always understood the game of volleyball extremely well, and that's why I enjoy coaching it so much, and that's why I've been successful in terms of just making teams and playing. And so, as a setter, you have to be pretty smart about the game and understand what's going on in the game and how to run it. And I think it happened naturally. Because of my teammates, they pass at a high level. I think we have some of the best passers in the country, and it makes it really easy to set the ball when I don't have to move too much. And then again, my hitters, they're extremely efficient. Again, I know my sets aren't perfect, but they just go up there and swing away and get points, and they make me look good, to be honest. So I think naturally it just happened because of the supporting cast around me. They made it very easy for me to succeed.
Yeah, it's worked out pretty well for you guys so far. And now, again, it wasn't always easy for you guys. You started before Christmas 5-4, but then things came together, only losing twice since the calendar turned to 2015. What do you think came together for you guys after Christmas?
Well, at the beginning of the year, we have a bunch of new faces to the team, myself included, and we needed to figure out what our roles were going to be and understand what kind of hard work it was going to take. And we have some of the most skilled and talented guys on our team, and I think it just took a little bit for the guys to understand that we actually had to put in the hard work as well. And that first half of the season was kind of an eye-opener. We went 5-4, and we knew that we wanted to win provincials and go to nationals, and we knew that we needed to do better. So people started adjusting to their roles better. We started understanding what everyone was capable of, and our chemistry just started to work a lot better as a team. And we just got in a good rhythm, and we've been going with that rhythm ever since.
And your team certainly didn't take the easy road to get to the CCAA. You had to play Trent in an OCAA qualifier, and then you get to the OCAA championships. You get the top-seeded Mohawk Mountaineers, but you take them out in 5 sets. At what point did you kind of realize that, something special might be happening here?
I think we all knew something was special, even just going into provincials. We had played with Mohawk before, and we knew we could play with them. And I think the first set coming out, we lost the first set to Mohawk, and I think guys kind of were a little down on themselves after that first set, but we kind of just talked ourselves up, and coming into the second possible. We can do this. And then we took the third set, and we were up 2-1 against them, and we said, okay, this is it. Like, this is our time when we're going to do this thing. And then we decided, why not go to 5 sets? Why not give the fans what they want? And went to 5 sets in a big thriller and took them out. And after that, we knew. We said, this is perfect. This is just what we wanted. And everything we wanted is coming down to this now, and we're accomplishing it. And so we've taken that first step by winning provincials, and now the next step is nationals.
Yeah, and then you followed that win against Mohawk up by beating Fanshawe in 4, but then you get the tournament host St. Clair in the final. You're in hostile territory there, so what was it like playing in that atmosphere in such a big game?
It was pretty wild. St. Clair, I think, has one of the best facilities, definitely the best facility in Ontario. I haven't traveled too much, so I'm not sure about elsewhere, but definitely one of the best facilities I've played in. And the fan support was crazy. I think there were over 2,000 people at the game. It was super loud, and if I was playing for St. Clair, it would have been pretty awesome, and I'm sure those guys were loving it, feeding off the crowd and the energy. But even playing for Niagara and being on the other side of it, where we're getting chirped a little bit, guys are loving it when we mess up. It's still loud, and we're still able to feed off that energy, and we feed off the energy even more when we were able to slide out and kind of silence the crowd. But near the end there in the 4th set, it was pretty tight, and it was getting really, really loud, and we just kept feeding off that energy. And I think that was one of the best provincial finals I played in.
And you look at that OCAA championship and you realize just how tough, in particular, the Western Division was to come out of. So being able to thrive with those teams, how do you think that helps your team in terms of preparing for the national stage?
Well, the West Division, it's a very, very tough division, and we said that right from the beginning of the year that it was going to be hard to get wins. We have some of the top teams in the West Division, and I think it helps us to understand that every game is extremely important, and every game you have to come out firing to be able to get wins. And so it's definitely given us a tough mentality, emotionally, physically. We just understand what it takes and understand how to take care of ourselves and accomplish what it is we want to accomplish and go through those tough games. And because in the West Division, you never know who's going to win the game. It doesn't matter if they don't have a winning record or not. It's going to be a tough opponent. And so same thing goes for nationals. We're going to be facing opponents who are very, very tough opponents. It's going to be hard to get wins. But we understand that those games, you just got to grind it out, and it's going to be very similar to our West Division and similar to provincials, and we're just going to have to keep going at it.
And speaking of nationals, your first opponent there is St. Thomas. So over the next week or so, what will your team be doing to prepare for them?
Well, as a team, I know we don't really look too much about St. Thomas. Personally, I don't know too much about them. I think our coaching staff, so Coach Crumvell, he's going to look at as much as he can about St. Thomas and plan, but we're going to focus mainly on our side of the net, and we're going to focus on what it is we need to do as a team to be successful on our side of the net, because if we lose focus on what we're doing and focus too much on what St. Thomas does, we're not going to be successful. We need to be focused on ourselves and how we can support each other in that role.
And finally here, what's the one thing that needs to happen on your side of the net to bring a championship banner back to Welland and Niagara College?
I think what has to happen is everyone just plays their role really well. We have a pretty deep team, and there's a lot of guys who are on the bench who on other teams would probably be starting. And but they have filled their role extremely well. And if everyone does their role well, focuses on themselves and what they can do to help support each other, we're going to be successful. And that even goes for our coaching staff as well. Our coaches do a great job of game planning and helping us out in the games and helping us to be successful. And as long as everyone comes together and works together as a team, that's what's going to do it. There's never going to be like a LeBron James in volleyball where you can just give him the ball and let him go. It's a team effort in volleyball, and that's going to be the key to success.
All right. Thanks a lot for your time here this afternoon, Steve, and we'll wish you the best of luck in Charlottetown next week. Niagara faces off with the St. Thomas Tommies at 3 p.m. on Thursday, once again, all times local. But you can follow along with Niagara on Twitter at NC_Knights. We've got one more team to cover in the first half of this preview, but you're not going to want to miss it. We'll be back shortly. There's a sampling of Hail to the King by Avenged Sevenfold. Ever since the dawn of the new millennium, CCAA men's volleyball is hailed to the Red Deer Kings. Red Deer won it all last season, defeating the host Briarcrest Clippers in the gold medal game in Saskatchewan to earn its 9th CCAA title since 2000, though it's their first since 2007, which was the last in a run of 8 straight years where Red Deer were the kings of the CCAA. Red Deer's won 11 national championships overall in men's volleyball, and that's more than any other CCAA program. The defending national champions, once again led by reigning Coach of the Year Aaron Shula, came back with another strong regular season, posting a 21-3 record to lead the ACAC South by 3 games over Medicine Hat. At the ACAC Championships, Red Deer swept its quarterfinal and semifinal matches over King's University and NAIT respectively to stamp its place in Charlottetown. At the ACAC Championships, Red Deer swept its quarterfinal and semifinal matches over King's University and NAIT respectively to stamp its place in Charlottetown. However, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, they blew a 2-set lead and lost in 5 to the Augustana Vikings in the championship game. Nevertheless, making the final was enough for the Kings to grab Alberta's wildcard, and they're back again. Patrick McIntyre, former CCAA All-Canadian Tim Finnegan, and Australian Luke Brisbane made the ACAC South's All-Conference team, with the 19-year-old Aussie earning Conference Player of the Year honors. I had a chat with Tim Finnegan to see how the Kings were doing. And joining me on the line from the defending national champion Red Deer Kings, he's a 3-time ACAC All-Conference player, including Player of the Year last season, but on the national stage, he was a second All-Tournament team player in 2013, and last year, he was a CCAA All-Canadian as well as first All-Tournament team, not to mention the gold and silver medals. As the team's captain, you could call him the King of Kings, I suppose, and he's a Red Deer native. Did I cover everything there, Tim Finnegan?
Yeah, that sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah, certainly a lot to cover there, but thanks for joining me here today. Ready to get things going?
Yeah, no problem, yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, so before we kind of get into what the team has been doing, we'll look at where you've been over the last few years. But you actually started your career back at SAIT in 2010, right after they won a national silver medal. You made the move back home to Red Deer a few years ago. Did you ever envision having this kind of success with the Kings whenever you moved back?
Oh, no, not at all. I went to SAIT for my first years at high school. I got my journalism diploma. I couldn't really continue school in Calgary anymore, so I thought I'd come home, maybe save some money living with the parents and take some business classes at RDC, and it really worked out for me on the volleyball side of things. I could get a great coach with Aaron Schuh and stuff, so I never expected this much success, but I can't say I'm not thankful for it. It's awesome.
Yeah, whenever you've done everything you've done, it's hard to not be happy with what you've done. So, yeah. Coming back to Red Deer, what has it been like over the last few years playing closer to your family and friends, along with being on the court with your brother Anthony?
I think it just adds a kind of comfort zone to the side of competitiveness. I'm just kind of more easygoing now that I know my family can come watch me, like a 5-minute drive away from the school. They can all come watch. I'm playing with my brother Ant on the team. Like, we kind of even each other out, and it's just kind of I guess mentally easing side of the sport. Yeah.
All right, and now this is your third straight national championship that you'll be going to. So, what has the early preparation been like for you and your team? Have you noticed any kind of difference between this year and the last two?
I don't, not with the preparation side. We all knew what our two main goals were. Obviously, to win a provincial and a national title, but obviously, we lost the provincial final, which is a huge motivator for us going in the national tournament. But I don't think the preparation has been any different. And it's a huge motivation to go and represent your province at a big national tournament in a prestigious league. So I think the preparation has been the same every year, all year for the last 3 years, and I think the same mindset is set throughout the whole team. But just with a couple of younger guys this year, I think the expectations are a little bit higher. I think the nerves are obviously a little bit on string, but we're all ready. We all know what kind of goal we're going for, and we all are buying into it.
All right, you mentioned losing the ACAC final. I was going to ask you about this a little bit later, but now that you've brought it up, do you think losing that final might actually be a good thing for your team in terms of, maybe the team building a little bit more character after overcoming a bit of adversity?
Yeah, it's obviously a disappointing feeling going into the national tournament as a wild card seed, but gotta give it to Augustana. They played awesome in their own gym, and but yeah, it's definitely a huge motivation going into the national tournament. I'm kind of a little mad that we're not on the same side as Augustana going into the draw. I've seen the rankings and whatnot, but it's definitely a huge motivation. I guess if you want to say it's a bit of a wake up call, but I guess you can put it into terms of it being a good thing for the team. But obviously, you want that first gold medal coming out of your province.
Yeah, I mean, it never hurts, but the fact remains that you guys are back on this stage, and it's the school's 5th straight appearance, and remarkably the 13th time in 16 years that Red Deer has been there. So, what lessons can you guys take from your past CCAA appearances?
I think the big lesson that I kind of learned over the past few years, obviously with my third year we lost in the final, then last year we won, and this year we lost in our provincial final, is that I don't know, I guess we're just, obviously the history is there, the excellence, the legacy of excellence is there, but you're not invincible, and teams are obviously gunning for you. They want to take down, always want to take down RDC, and I think that kind of strengthens us as a team and as individuals. But I'm never underestimating anybody, and it's kind of helpful for us to have to play our best game every game, because we know that's what's coming back at us.
Yeah, and you just touched on it there a second ago. You're coming in as the defending national champion, but you're a wild card this season after losing that final. So my question here, do you feel like your team has something more to prove, or do you think there's still a big target on your back as the defending champs?
Well, I think kind of both. Like like you said before, we've been at we're not in the national tournaments is nothing new to us, but it is CCAA nationals. Every team is deserved. Every team's worked for, and they've all earned their spot in this tournament. And they're all great teams. They're all really good coach teams. I just think it's nothing to overlook that we have been in this tournament before. But teams will be gunning for us. But I don't know. Being that 4 seed is what you said is a wake up call, and we're not going to take it for granted.
All right, and as I say, you're going in as defending champions, so obviously with that there comes a little bit of turnover in the roster. For example, Braden O'Toole, last year's tournament MVP, and Parker Maris both went to U of Calgary, and then Chris Osborne was finished as well. So the big question there is, how have you guys maintained your consistency with all the turnover you guys had?
Obviously those guys were a big part of this success last year, and we've had new guys come in. We have 3 Australians on our team who were first year, really young guys, 18-year-olds that have been a huge part of our success. But I think it's just the constant reminder of the level of excellence we demand. We're always on them. I guess the vets, for lack of a better word, are always on them. The coaches are always demanding the best from them, and they come from winning programs in their country, and they know what it's like to win, and we, I guess, kind of step that up in their game.
All right, you mentioned the Aussies. One of the Aussies you had last year was Sam Brisbane, but he left Red Deer for Mount Royal this season. But
Mount Royal, yep.
Instead, you now have his younger brother, Luke, who was this year's Player of the Year in the conference. What kind of an impact has he had on this year's squad?
Yeah, obviously he got Player of the Year. That's a huge thing for him. Like, we're really happy and stuff. But he's a physical guy. He brings a lot of offense to the setting position, which you don't really find in many teams. Obviously, you need the setter to be a big guy, so he's a physical guy. He's way above his game. Like, his intelligence is way above his age. So he thinks out the game well, and he runs a good offense and spreads it out really nice for everybody and gets everybody involved. So his IQ is way higher than what it should be at this time, which is pretty exciting for years to come too.
And naturally a huge asset for you guys.
Yes.
All right, so looking ahead to the tournament, your first round matchup is against St. Clair. It's obviously very early on in the proceedings, but what have you seen or heard about St. Clair in terms of their style of play and what you guys need to do?
I haven't heard too much about St. Clair, but I know they beat some good Ontario teams like Humber and Mohawk. I know they're a scrappy team. They like to play. They like to play hard. They like to play fast offense. So I think we'll just probably spend the next couple of days getting ourselves to know them through video and whatnot. And I'm just preparing for the best team to bring out their best too.
All right, and what is the biggest thing in your mind that needs to happen for Red Deer to repeat as national champions? Because it's so hard to get that second one.
I think, what we've been saying all year is, I guess at this point in time, there's 3 more games left. We put all our focus and energy into each one, and after each one, we just move on no matter the outcome and put our focus on to the next one, and we just kind of keep our headlights onto that gold medal and really strive and push for that and buy into the common goal that the coaches and pretty much the program is all expected, and just do our thing, play our side, and go for that gold.
Fair enough. And finally, these are your last varsity games. You won the national title last year. How much would it mean for you to go out as a national champion once again?
The icing on top of the cake of final 5 years of playing volleyball. It felt like yesterday was my first year at state, so to repeat as a national champion would obviously be probably the best feeling that could ever happen.
It's amazing how time flies, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, well, we'll see you in Charlottetown, and thank you very much for taking... Red Deer will battle the St. Clair Saints at 6 p.m. local time on Thursday, and you can follow the team on Twitter at RDCKingsVB, or you can follow their entire program at RDC Athletics. Well, that's it for part 1 of the Spin Cycles Tournament Preview Podcast. Check back in a little bit as we'll cover the St. Clair Saints, the St. Thomas Tommies, the Teton de Limoilou, and of course your tournament hosts, the Holland College Hurricanes, in greater detail. In the meantime, don't forget to follow at HC_Hurricanes or at CCAA Sports ACSC for all the latest Twitter updates on the tournament as it happens. Until then, this is Geordie Carragher signing off.